important day in your life. If you label the top of your sheet constructed response is what we're talking about. Constructive response is super important. It's going to help you to always write everything, every question you are ever asked in a complete sentence. So make sure you put stars on the top of it like I did, because constructive response is going to help you every single time you are asked a question and you need to respond to it. It's going to help you to write in a complete sentence. So basically, constructive response is a fancy term, is fancy for writing a complete sentence. You're just going to want to write this small. So again, constructive response is a fancy way to say writing in a complete sentence. So you use this for open-ended questions. Open-ended questions are when it's not multiple choice. So this is going to help you to respond to right there questions, think and search questions, on my own questions, and what's the fourth one? Right. Oh, author and me, you're right. And author and me questions. So again, basically this is a formula, like in math class when Mrs. Paul gives you a formula on how to solve a certain problem. These are the directions. This is the formula to make sure every single time you turn something into me that it's in complete sentences. That's why I had those stars on there. Again, I'm going to say this for importance. This is going to help you in all of your classes. And this is not just something for 6th grade. This is something that you're going to use in middle school, high school, college, for the rest of your life. Every single time I answer a question, I always respond in constructive response format. So this is one of those life skills of a student and really of a person. So the first thing you do when you get a question, think about back to Rupert, right? Rupert in writing block. The R is what? What's the first thing you think you need to do when you get a question? What do you need to do, Max? Read. Very good. You need to read the question. So what to do? The first thing you do is you read the question. What do you do when you read the question? You got to get that thinking voice going. You don't just read the question, but there's more than that. You read the question, and what do you need to do? Have any ideas? Peyton? Very good. You need to read the question. You need to think about it. You need to identify what are they asking you. So you read question, you identify those little words that make it a question. So read question and identify what makes it a question. You also look at the type of question. That's like think and search, author and me, on my own. Do you see how this kind of goes back to what we talked about last week? So the type of question, and because this is notes, I'm okay that you're just writing the question mark as long as you know that stands for the word question. Does that make sense? So you read the question, you identify what makes it a question, those little words, the type of the question, and what is it asking? So for example, so I'm going to switch colors and I'm just going to write a little color or example underneath here. Let's say the question here, EX means example, is what grade does Augie go to school, or should I say go to an actual school, for the first time? So the first thing I need to do is I need to read the question, and identify what makes it a question, what type of a question, and what the question is asking. So let's just first start out, what type of question is this? Does anyone have any ideas? What grade does Augie go to an actual school for the first time? Victoria?
Right there.
Very good. It's a right there question. So I'm just going to write here in the margin, right there. Right there. Meaning, Victoria, what does that mean if it's a right there question?
It means it's right there in your face and it doesn't take that long to search for it.
Yeah, it means the answer is going to be found literally word for word in the text in one spot. So I know that the answer is found in my novel. Then what words in this question make it a question? So what grade does Augie go to an actual school for the first time? What makes it, Logan, a question?
The word what?
Very good, what? So let's just underline what. Are there any other words that kind of make it a question, Peyton?
Does.
Very good, does. Great job, Peyton. So I'm going to just underline those words there because those are words that I know in my head. These are these special words that when they get put into a sentence, they make it into a sentence. So I just need to be aware of it. After I read the question and identify what it's asking, and what do I need to find out?
What type of question?
What do I need to find out? What are they asking me?
What grade does Augie go to?
Very good. I'm looking at a grade that Augie goes to an actual school. So I'm just kind of boxing that. You don't always have to do this, but I'm just kind of letting you see what is the difference between words that make a question, like these underlined words, and the words that's in a box right here are words that are going to be in my answer, that need to be in my answer. So I read my question. Then after I read my question, I think and I reflect on the answer very quickly. Think and reflect on answer. Oh my gosh, ready? Hold on to your seat for this. Ready for this? I might even go back into the text and look at the answer if I don't know it on the top of my head. But even more than that, I need to go back in the text to look for text evidence. So the thing that then the second step is think and reflect on answer. You need to figure out the answer, but you need to find proof or evidence that is the answer. Think and reflect. Go into text and find evidence. Again, evidence, fancy word for proof, that it is the correct answer. So again, that evidence, the proof is not only, it's the proof and it answers why. It just doesn't tell me that Augie went to school for the first time when he was in, ladies and gentlemen, what grade was it? Fifth grade, but it tells me why. Okay, so not only do you want to find out the answer, but you also want the why part of it. So we go back, we think, we reflect, we figure it out, we plan out that our answer in our head is that he goes to school in 5th grade, and the reason why he goes to school for the first time in 5th grade is why. It's not because his face was deformed or his parents were worried that he was going to get made fun of. What's the reason he didn't go to school until he was in 5th grade, Max? Very good, his surgeries. Max, you're on fire today. Great job. Exactly. It's because of his surgeries. Okay? It wasn't, again, that people were making fun of him. It was solely on the fact that he had all these surgeries. So what we're going to do is then we're going to start writing our answer. Then you rewrite the question. By taking those fancy words that make it into a question out. So rewrite, hello Miss Glenn, it's Tuesday. Rewrite, that's kind of a tongue twister, question by taking the question out. So what that looks like is this.
How many numbers are there?
There's like 5, I think, or 6. I am recording right now. We are going live.
Hello,
This is going on the blog right now. So, how would I, okay, bring it back. How would I rewrite the question by taking the question out? If this is our question, what words do I need to take out of it? What words? We've already identified it. We've underlined some of those words that make it a question. So what 2 words are we going to take out when we write this again? Restate the question. Carolyn? Okay, we're going to take out these 2 questions, right? What and does. Because remember, those were the 2 words that we said as a class make it into a question, right? So we're going to restate it. So we're going to say, Augie, right? No, this is a little confusing, and that's okay. We're going to work on this. So we restate it by saying, Augie goes to an actual school for the first time in, and then we would add in their 5th grade, okay? And then we would put the word in there because. So do you see how all I did was I took the question that someone else gave me and I restated it, making it into a statement. So basically with constructed response, your 5th grade teachers might have called it invisible questions, where you should be able to look at someone's answer and come up with what the question was. So basically we're restating the question by taking the question out. So again, I just said Augie goes to an actual school for the first time in, and then I'm going to go on to say the grade and why. Yes, Victoria. You what? Oh, good question. If you run out of room, you can just flip over to the back. So once you've answered a question, you rewrote the question by taking that question out of it. It's basically you got all the easy stuff left. After you do that, you answer the question completely. Answer all keyword parts of question completely. Using text evidence. And after you've done that, does anyone have any ideas what you might do next? Max, you're on fire.
Check over grammar.
Oh, awesome. Grammar. We don't want word crimes. Max, I owe you a mint. You're on fire today. I know, I like it. It's okay. That's called using your resources. Yes, these notes are on the backboard.
The answer was the same.
What?
The first 2 questions, the answer was the same.
Yeah, but he's using his resource. So number 5, the last one is check for grammar. Check grammar. Spelling. And for all English rules. So again, when you're writing a complete sentence, when you're responding to a question, it's not that hard to do it as long as you remember this checklist for constructed response. Tomorrow we're going to go more into detail with what does text evidence look like. But today we're going to what I like to call kill and drill. No one's getting hurt here though. We are just going to practice on how to take a question and turn it into a statement, taking those question words out, and we're going to do it so many times that you're going to be pros by the end of today. Yeah. We're doing that today. So get excited, ladies and gentlemen. Yay. That's what I like to call. So basically, after today, constructive response is going to be your best friend.